Hi everyone, it's Heidi Smith. I'm Flutter by Heidi and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the United Kingdom, and today I'm hopping with the Stamp Around UK crew with another of our video hops. So this is where we each do a video on YouTube, and the links you'll find in the description box below, on a particular theme or using a particular stamp set. And just to share some inspiration. And today we're doing Winter Birthday, and I'm actually going to share with you some old and some new. So here's the card I'm going to make. So just a modified fold with a little bit of a flap over with the happy birthday, and you'll see I'm using the lovely Winter Woods stamp set for this. You see I've used that beautiful birch tree behind, and you've got some lovely golden shimmer on there. You've got some gold pearls here, so those are our metallic pearls, but the way I've got that lovely gold shimmer is actually using a fabulous new product, which is some new gilded leafing. So gold flakes, and these are absolutely beautiful. I know gold flakes have been around a while off and on, but these are absolutely beautiful. And some heat and stick powder, so that's just to show you something a little bit different. So let's get started. So this one I've actually done using Early Espresso and Merry Merlot, which I think is lovely, but I wanted something a little bit lighter. I found that perhaps the Early Espresso a little bit on the dark side, so I thought I would mix it up a little bit by using some Merry Merlot again, but perhaps with some Rococo Rose. So I thought that actually was quite a different combination. I always love Rococo Rose with gold colours anyway. It's really sort of warm kind of effect. So I'm starting off with a piece of card that is 21.7 by 10.5 centimetres, and I'm going to score that at 14.5 centimetres. I'll put the measurements in inches on my blog for those of you who want those, but that gives us our card base. I've then got two pieces of card that are 6.7 by 10 centimetres, which are my two layers, which go there and there. We then want another piece which is 6.7 by 10 for the inside as well. So that's going to go on the inside. And then for the front panel, I've got a piece which is 7.5 by 11.5, and then I've used Sahara sand here. I think, yeah, it looks like Sahara sand, which is 7 by 11. I wanted something a little bit warmer than Whisper White for the front. And obviously you could, if you wanted to colour that, you could ink it or use some blends. Then I've got two strips which are 2.5 and 2.2 centimetres wide, and they're both 7.5 centimetres in length. And we'll use the trimmer in a little while just to score those. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to punch using our Banner's Picker punch. So I'm just going to come in and pop that in all the way in and just punch to create our point. And then the next one, likewise, I'm just going to come in. Actually, I didn't get that previous one very straight, so I'm hoping, because I've made this slightly 7/8, so still 2.2, slightly narrower. I might just eke that one actually a little bit. So I'm just making that a little bit more central. It doesn't matter because we're obviously going to be scoring on the end. So all I'm going to do is just stamp my sentiment on here, and that comes from the Here's a Card stamp set, which I briefly flashed up a moment ago, using some Merry Merlot ink. And it's going to come in on the end there. Stand up so I can stand half a chance of getting it straight. Okay. Go. Right, so I'm now going to layer that up onto my, just add some adhesive to the back of that, and just layer that. You'll find just a nice little narrow border on there. And then you're going to score it at around about about 6.5 centimetres, something like that, just on the end there, and that's going to just fold in behind our layer. Now you might, if you find that's a little bit bulky, then once you've scored it, you can actually come in and trim that front layer off, because then all you're doing is That'll be nice and flush, and you haven't got so much bulk on the front there as well. So there's our little tab, and let's get on with our stamping. So the fun bit, or the messy bit. If you don't like mess, this one isn't great actually. Put my punch away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some early espresso. Just dropped something on the floor there, so I'll no doubt need that in a moment. Okay, so I've got my ink pad, and I'm just going to stamp this twice in early espresso. I'm just going to pop that so. Again, come in. I haven't inked that up quite as much as I did the first one, but that's fine because we're going to stamp over the top. I'm just using a piece of, it's a bit like Simply Chamois, just because it happens to be a damp, non-fibrous cloth. Don't use baby wipes. Most of them have fibres on them, but these reusable ones like the Simply Chamois are fabulous for getting a nice finish. So the next bit, I am going to be doing some heat embossing, should have said, and I'm going to use some heat and stick powder. So the first thing I'm going to do is quickly dust that over with an embossing buddy. Reason for that is not only does it stop any wet ink getting it on there, but it obviously just reduces the static. And what I'm going to do is take my Versamark, hopefully ink that up really well, and I'm going to come in the centre of that and stamp over the top. Now the heat and stick powder is basically like embossing powder, and the only difference that you've got here is that rather than going shiny and giving you a finish, this actually goes sticky. So once you've done that, tap it off and you should be able to see that that's left a layer on there. I'm just going to pop that and quickly get the lid on. I am likely to knock that flying. Then grab your heat tool, noise coming up. And just like embossing powder, it really will, you'll see it start to go shiny. Don't leave it on too long, because obviously what you don't want to do is dry it out. So just as with embossing powder, wait till it just turns and then move on. So hopefully you can start to see so I'm just making sure that's nice and warm all over, and then I'm going to come in with my Gilding Flakes. And this is where I say these will go everywhere, but this is sticky. So what you do is you take pieces, and I have got a container here that I'm going to use to pop them in, but you just pat them all over, and you see it is literally like just pieces of leafing. And you can be really generous. I mean, there's loads in this pot. But the best thing to do is to kind of cover it first before you start rubbing away, because what you don't want to do is get your fingers on it, taking away the sticky. You'll see. Okay, so once you've got most of that, just kind of pick up your excess, and this is where it was really useful to have a tub form. Now this, it's like a piece of scourer, like non-stick scourer, but it's more open weave there. It's almost like this stuff actually, the take your pick accessory, and I just find that this is just better than using my fingers, because it kind of really gets into the detail You'll see, because I'm doing it over that box, all these little shards I will be able to use on future projects just by dipping my project in. So like that, you dip it in face first and then you just come out. And there you have a lovely gold leaf effect on there. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So again, I kind of scoop it up with my scoury thing. I'll try and find out if you can buy those separately. And then that's going to be my box for it. It's in one way it's not ideal because you lift it up, it creates a vacuum and sucks it up, but it does the job. So there we go, we've got our panel. So that's using new heat and stick powder, a bit of Versamark, and our lovely stamped image. And what I should have done is actually done the other ones at the same time. But you do need to make sure that you kind of do them in stages. Not least of all because otherwise you're going to get into the situation of having it drying out, and that's the last thing you want. So I better get a move on. All I'm going to do is just stamp my trees, and you'll see because it's Versamark, it's like a you can actually line that up by eye. You could use your stamparatus if you wanted to. What I'm going to do is just pop that in there, and I didn't actually use my embossing buddy, so I might end up with some stray bits of gilding. So again, I'm just going to carry on doing both of these. And the other one that would work well with this actually would be the birch stamp, the background one. But I just wanted to show you with just a single stamp. In some ways it would be better because it would actually cover, you wouldn't get a gap top and bottom. So on with those. Powder at the ready. And I always say, you know, just be as liberal as you like with this, really cover it well, because it will tap off what you don't need. And the beauty of this is because you want it to kind of be, you know, you don't want it to be solid, you just want a really lovely effect. So this one hasn't quite picked up, I perhaps let that go a little bit dry. There we go. Just pop my embossing powder back in. I'm going to say it uses very little, apart from the fact I've just thrown it everywhere. And then again, come back in with those so again, it's just heating it up from behind. You can see it just going clear there instead of the powder. And pop that straight in while it's all there. Yeah, still sticky. So you can see, just pop that all the way over. So I'm just going to leave that there for the moment. Pop the lid on so it doesn't go quite everywhere, and crack on with my second one. See all of that leafing, just put it all over. And say it looks sort of really extravagant, and you can be really careful and just literally pick out. You can see there's fabulous big strips of it that you can sort of pick out and put on. But I just find, just dab it all over. and I'd rather put stuff more on. Gosh, that's a massive piece there, than less. And as I say, you can see that's just rubbing off with my fingers. You can see there, so I get most of that off. And then I put my lid on, so I can try to get as much back into my pot as I can, because it just goes everywhere. But it's great fun. If you've not long had your nails done, if you have your nails done or you painted them, then you'll have lots of fun with this, because you'll end up with lovely gilded nails even. Yeah, I didn't. I perhaps should have done those one by one. But there you go. You can see the pink and the gold. I think it just looks so pretty. It's like rose gold. I love rose gold. This is my favourite, rather than yellow gold, I suppose. So this is the closest I can get with this. There we go. So a couple of pieces there. Lid on. I'm going to be gilded all around the house for the next few days. Hey, that's not bad, because they're running up to Christmas. So here we go. Now all that's left is to not be quite so gilded. I definitely have to. I'm have to vacuum. And let's get on with finalising our card. So last bit of assembly. So first things first. Decide which way up, which piece you want to go on the front, which you want to go on the back piece. I'll probably have that one on the front. This one. Now I'm just using my stamping seal here, and what I'm actually going to do is just pop my birthday just over there, and then add a little bit of Seal Plus on the underneath, and that will go into there, as you can see. If you haven't used the new seal, it is lovely to use. I remember Shelley in one of the presentations recently kind of going, it's great not to have that ratchety sound, and she's right actually. I think we'd all forgotten, or I kind of, you get so used to it you don't notice it till somebody comments. I've probably gone really loud now because I'm standing up hovering over the mic. Okay, and next piece on the front there, so you see just that nice border, and then finally I'm just going to add very quickly, see, too much wittering hide. Ooh. Add that layer there. So, and then all that's left is to use, I'm actually going to use some of my mixed dimensionals. This is a pack of black dimensionals, and this is great for using on darker card, particularly on black card actually, where you don't want the white to show. And just remember, you're only putting them on the left, as you look at it, on the left hand side on the reverse. So just take those dimensionals off. Great thing is you can easily see where they are. Layer that up in the middle. And all that's left to do, that's what hit the floor, it was my pack of pearls, is add those gilded pearls onto the front, which I can't, here we go, I have located them. Grab your take a pick and some gilded pearls and just add those as a little bit of extra golden loveliness on the front of your card. So there we have a pair of winter birthday cards. Pop along to those taking part in the blog. It's just click on the button on the description, there's a little pointy bit on the side, click on that and you'll see links to all of the other projects. I'd love it if you went along and supported everybody, we really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it and get in as much mess as I do with Gilding Flakes. Thanks for watching. Pop along to my Stampin' Up shop at heidismith.stampinup.net if you'd like to purchase any products and the new Gilding Flakes from the spring and summer catalogue, 4th of January. See you then. Bye now.